Hello friends, today I will do a documentary on the theme Sand to Civilization. So, the current president of UAE, His Highness Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, once said, educating the individual is the country's most valuable investment. It represents a foundation for progress and development. So, now let's discuss some of the past, present, future, culture, etc. of the UAE. So firstly, a brief information of the UAE. The UAE is called the United Arab Emirates because the UAE consists of 7 emirates. The 7 emirates are Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah. Islam is the official religion and Arabic is the official language of UAE. The UAE's capital is Abu Dhabi and the UAE flag consists of 4 colors: red, white, black and green. Now, we will move on to the past of UAE. In the past, small houses of low roofs were close to each other, where families got their milk and cheese from cows and goats. And their water was from a well. The early 1960s, oil was discovered in Abu Dhabi, which was the event that led to quick unification calls made by UAE leaders in the 1971. His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan became the ruler of Abu Dhabi in 1966, and the British started losing their oil investments and contracts to the US oil companies. The transportation of the UAE in the past was camels, also known as the ship of the desert. Education in the past was so simple that the mouthwash was the teacher of the school. Now let's move on to the present of UAE. The UAE has grown big. The UAE is a multicultural country and the 10th safest country in the world. The UAE has 7th highest net migration rate in the world. Nowadays, the UAE has tourism as one of the main businesses of UAE. But unfortunately, because of COVID-19, UAE tourism has gone low. But I hope UAE gets better and the COVID gets out of UAE. So let's move on to the future of UAE. The UAE plans for many things in the future, such as Expo 2020, Dubai Creek Harbour, Mohammed bin Rashid Library, the Hyperloop, the Museum of Future, etc. Expo 2020 is one of the main programs planned by UAE. The theme of Expo is Connecting Minds, Creating the Future. Now lastly, we get into the culture of UAE. Traditionally, the people of UAE, who are known as the Emiratis, have had their staple foods as rice and meat and seafood. Seafood is mostly fish, while mutton and lamb are the most common meats. Cultural Emirati foods include kebab bread, luguminat, that's a famous dessert, machbouz, and a few others. Just like most of the other countries in the world, Western culture has played a part in shaping the cuisine of the UAE. For example, fast foods are now more common than in previous times. The UAE is rich in horse riding. Now, this is the end of our documentary. I thank you all for watching my video and I hope you all liked my documentary.